Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the This Is The Music Meets podcast. On today's episode, I'm delighted to be joined by rising whole four-piece Backyard Casino, who have just released their best single to date in 9 Lives. As well as discussing the new single, we're going to find out exactly what the band have got in store for 2023 and what bands they have selected to join them on their dream new music gig. So James, Gareth, Ash and Daryl, welcome along to the This Is The Music Meets podcast. How are you all doing today?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you for having us, appreciated.
Oh, great stuff. And I'm liking the setup that you've got there. Is that kind of like a bit of a man cave, or is it turning into a bit of more of a music room?
Yeah, it's the BYCHQ we call it now, mate.
Great stuff, great stuff. So as I say, obviously it's great to have you on. But kind of like just before we get ahead to talking about the new single, I'd kind of would like to go back to sort of like the very beginning, really. So kind of like how did Backyard Casino form?
Want to start us off, James?
Yeah, it was me and Gaz, we've been playing since about 15. School days back then. We used to go to school and we used to go to the music department, take the acoustics up onto the field and that. And he'd usually jam a bit of Arctic Monkeys, and we just kind of jam there. And then we got used to writing our own tunes. I think second single come through the lightning. We wrote that when we was like 15 years old, didn't we?
Yeah, it was one of our first songs we ever wrote. We still brought it out a few years later. So no, it was we've had some good tunes sitting there for a while.
Yeah, we've been sitting for years.
But yeah, then over time, obviously we've sort of got some new band members. Obviously, people come and go, don't they? So, but we've turned out now. I think we've got the best lineup we've ever got. The lads here, fucking top.
It's fine.
I know we've got some top-notch lads here, and I think that's why at the moment we're progressing so well, because the energy in the band's good. Everyone gets along, and we're all pumped for it. Like, we've all got dedication towards it at the moment. So.
Oh, great stuff to hear. And kind of like as well, the band name then, is that based on sort of like your love for gambling at all, or is there something a little bit more innocent to the band name?
So back in the day, we used to have little poker nights in my back garden in the summer nights. So kind of came from them type of vibes. We used to jam obviously here and there, and then after a while we called it the Backyard Casino, and then the name kind of stuck, you know.
Right. So, great stuff. And are you any good at poker? Or any of you any good at poker?
I like to think I'm a bit of a shark, and I do a few poker nights with some mates, and I usually win. So
great stuff. So kind of like then Ash and Daryl bring you in on this one then. Kind of like then and for James and Gaz as well, but kind of like who were your sort of like musical inspirations and influences when you were growing up?
I'll first. So for myself, I was quite a big Pink Floyd fan. So that kind of driven my music taste and how very much for the band. That's how I kind of play bass to that extent. And that's why, from the band's perspective, it's very much like quite a different sound now. The bass kind of emphasises and uplifts James' vocals, Gaz's guitar playing it, and now obviously with the drums in as well, everyone's kind of synergy is really good. And on this new record, you know, the passion and everything that's coming, it's great. You know, it sounds great.
Yeah, sure.
Well, for me, it was pretty much sort of pop rock. Like I sort of grew up with like the older style, like ballads, like sort of like Pink Floyd, Meatloaf, and stuff my dad listened to.
Yeah.
And you know, as soon as you're laying drums, you want to hit them hard. So you just like I went to sort of like pop punk sort of bands, and then. Like, I think I like to feel like I've given a bit of edge to the boys. Some balls. Balls kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Dude, that goes with exactly what they're trying to give off.
I will say with Daryl, we went in the studio for this 9 Lives release, and we did practices we did record it initially with the old drummer. Then we had Daryl's take on it, and we just had to retake and start again because it brought a totally different energy to the song. Do you know what I mean? Even the guy in the studio, Johnny at Young Thugs, he was like, it's a different song altogether now. So
yeah, we literally retracked that drum track like 3 weeks before release or something, didn't we? We just got to get the new drum track on there.
Wow. Right. Oh, okay. Wow. So there's a massive a massive compliment for you and your drumming style then, really, which is obviously must be great to hear. Must be great to hear.
I get back.
And then how about you, James and Gaz? Kind of like what sort of artist are you similar with the Pink Floyd, or sort of pop punk type stuff?
We was a bit more kind of classic indie kind of stuff. We was always, I think, pretty much any indie rock band will tell you Oasis is right up there.
Yeah,
number one. They were
number
number one for us. But we was like Libertines, Arctic Monkeys. Them kind of bands was the ones that we kind of really like took a lot of influence from, especially writing wise. Like Pete Doherty was a big one for us.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, we brought up on the same song. That's why we got along so well when we was younger. Obviously, you're jamming the same songs, and you sort of,
Yeah, sure, definitely. Okay, so obviously, so far you've put out I think it's 5 songs I think to date, which you can obviously stream and download in all of the usual platforms. But kind of like for each of you as a band member, have you got like a personal sort of favourite song, one that might mean a little bit more to you than one of the others?
So we're sitting on one at the moment. We've been sitting on it for about 2 years. It's called Blue Sky Dreamer. It's a bit of like a slower ballad, and we just want to make sure we're at the right level when we release it. Because you know when you listen to a song, you're like, that's a hit right there. But we haven't got enough fans at the moment. So, so we're going to build it up, and then when the moment's right, you're going to get it in the face with a banger. So,
it sounds...
Sorry, I was going to say, for me, Nine Lives, like when we wrote that one, kind of banged out the chorus for me, you kind of know it as a writer when you're onto something. And I couldn't listen to nothing else for about 3 weeks or something. I was like, that is a tune, that. And then we released it, and it sounds exactly as I had it in my head. So for me, it's Nine Lives.
Yeah, sure.
I think for me, it's a recent one I've just started to track down actually, which is called Silent Type, and it's got this kind of this breakdown element, which is very much like a mixture of an indie rock band with a Fleetwood Mac vibe of kind of how it all builds up, gets to a peak, and then drops into, you know, like a really nice dancing tune. I think that for me, that's the one I'm very excited about. You know, about 2 and a bit months away from that, maybe. So yeah, that's one for me.
I think me is a new one we've started on, like Playing with a Gun. It's the first one I think I've written like properly with the band. So it's the first one that feels really personal to me and makes me feel like a proper part of the band. Like I love Nine Lives and I absolutely love the drums, but I feel like, you know, Flirting with a Gun is just like the first one we wrote together as a group that just felt right. I think at that moment we knew it was onto something, like as a group wise.
I want to say with Flirting with a Gun as well, that's going to be, so I don't know if you've seen our latest post, that's so Nine Lives is the debut of our free song EP. So with a Gun's going to be the 3rd release. We've got them both recorded, ready to go. We're just kind of letting the dust settle from Nine Lives, and then we'll be up again with the next 2 singles. So we've got a lot coming on this year. We've got it all ready to go. We're just ready for a big year.
Yeah, great stuff, and it's really exciting to hear the well, I guess kind of like sort of exclusive type of stuff there as well. So obviously, as we've just touched on there, Nine Lives obviously came out like last Friday. And it looks like to me from what I've seen that he's had a great response obviously across social media, and it's a song that I'm absolutely loving listening to. So kind of like then, can you just sort of tell us what is the song about?
Well, James, it's all you.
I don't know, just kind of took a bit of inspiration. I think it was my missus has like mates that have like young sisters that are going out and about like on the town and all that. It was just kind of about sort of, you know, when you don't care and you're just kind of going out there, you're not bothered, you're just living life in the moment really and being a bit rebellious, and that's where the line Living with a Rebel Tone came from really, just kind of not really giving a fuck.
And I think everyone can relate to that back in your younger days. I know, I look back and I think we've had a night or 2 where you can relate, you know.
Absolutely, definitely. And so kind of like then the writing and the recording process for this one, was it solely you, James, doing it, and then you kind of like had, right, this is how it's going to sound in my head, and then communicating that with the other guys? Or was it kind of like, you know, you write it and then everyone adds their individual parts kind of like as you're going along when you're rehearsing it?
Yeah, I mean, with this one, I remember actually how we came up with the initial idea was we was in practice. I think it was Gaz just randomly said to me, "Come up with some chords, mate, I just want to have a jam." and that was the verse chords to it. And then I went away and wrote the first verse, and we always hate doing the choruses. We always come up with a real good chorus or real good verse, but we never get them all together at the same time. Then you bang out the chorus, got it on GarageBand, got it down there. So I had the idea there. I just thought that's a good little chorus, and then took it to the lads. And usually, once I've kind of got a good idea, I'll get them whittled off in about a week, sort of thing, and then we got straight to it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, it certainly sounds like it's like a really fast process as well. I'm guessing that the recording side of things as well, is it fast for you guys? Do you sort of, when you've heard that sound, like once it all comes back, you know that you're happy with it straight away without tinkering with it too much?
Yeah, well, usually we're in and out the studio in a day, so it's one of them few takes each, we're in and out, but we're sitting on about 30 original songs at the moment, so it's one of them where we're picking, and obviously you've got to pick and choose. It can't all be B-sides, can't all be A-sides, can they? So yeah, we're just picking and choosing at the moment. We, even though these 3 songs are the next one we're releasing, we're already so hyped for the next ones we've got coming up, because we think every song now we're making, we're sacking other ones off because we're just leveling up every time.
Yeah. Especially when you're protecting the band as well, like it's just got so much more bollocks to it now. Like it's just a lot more powerful.
We can get away with playing different, different music now. We can get away with more complicated stuff. Like everything's just sounding tighter. So yeah, it's all coming on.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, as I say, it certainly sounds like really, really exciting. So kind of like now, obviously, as you know, here at This Is The Music, we try to sort of shine a light on bands like yourselves, at the grassroots and sort of unsigned sort of level that are trying to sort of make their way through. So kind of like what we're going to do for this question is we're going to ask you guys to put on a hypothetical gig, kind of like involving bands or artists that are on the new music scene. So Backyard Casino are on the bill. And we're going to kind of like try and do it so that we've got sort of like, kind of like a festival type thing. So we've got 8 bands in total. So which bands are you going to pick to join you at this festival?
I'll start us off. I think at the moment one of the bands we're like looking up to a bit, just because they seem to be doing well in the scene, is the Skinner Brothers. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Yeah, I've had them on here a couple of times. Yeah.
Like I say, we follow them. We're in contact with them here and there, and we kind of aspire to be like them in a way at the moment, because obviously they're kicking off in the scene, and I know we're not necessarily their genre, but we're their type of style. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think Skinner Brothers is definitely one on there.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of real good bands, to be fair, at the moment, but one band that's we've kind of worked in tandem with them quite a few years is The Avenues. If you've heard of them, they're a really, really good indie band. And we used to kind of hop on a lot of their single releases and stuff, and they're definitely ones to keep an eye out for.
Right, okay, lovely.
And then also we got, I think we did a gig with This Feeling just a couple of weeks ago. And one band that we played with on there that just blew us away was The Chase. If you heard The Chase,
love they're a great set of lads, The Chase.
Single they got that, the encore no one asked for, is an absolute banger.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the Skinner Brothers, The Chase, The Avenues, and Backyard Casino. So we're looking for 4 more bands. Who have we got?
Get 4 more, but I'll tell you another one of an upcoming old band that's pretty good. We've had our eye on Ketamine Cow. Sure you've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're doing cool things at the moment, like the sound and that.
Yeah, it's a little young punk band. They've got a lot of attitude to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the main thing with us, is that we like the bands with a bit of something about them, a bit of meat in the music. Do you know what I mean? So a bit of energy. I'm not really into the soft, like. I'll end up getting told off if I say it the way I want.
Brilliant. Okay, and Garrett, Dow and Ash and Daryl. So have you got any ones to come in there to this list for this gig?
I mean, I've been so out of the music scene for such a long time, if I'm completely honest. I don't know anyone.
You get back, I can say no, that's it.
Yeah, that's the one band. But you know what? I'm going to join this band. Just practice and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, great stuff. So are we ending the bands there for this gig? Is that what we're going to go in with?
Yeah, I think, mate, unless I start dropping like big famous bands.
We can chuck them in. It's all right. It's all good. It's only for a bit of fun.
Can't think of it off the top of my head, mate, so.
Okay, great stuff. Well, we've got a pretty good lineup there. I think with obviously yourselves, The Chase, Ketamine Kel, the Skinner Brothers, and the Avenues as well. And I'm sure that if that gig was ever put on, I'm sure it'd be a great night. So again, kind of like a little bit of fun here. This could cause a bit of controversy in the band. If you could swap lives with one band member, who would it be and why?
It's got to be Liam Gallagher all day on it. I mean, you know, back in the Oasis days, especially, yeah, it's got to be Liam. It's sex, drugs, rock and roll at its finest, isn't it? So
Definitely, yeah. Anyone else there?
I'm going to go with Pete Doherty, minus the drugs. I love the American style from back in the day in Libertines, but we'll take away the lifestyle. But just have a little bit.
Brilliant, great stuff. Some great choices in there, I'm sure. How about you, you two there at the back? Are you got anything more for us?
Nick Fleetwood, just because it'd be absolutely crazy to see like Fleetwood Mac's recording process.
Yeah,
especially with Steve comment about it.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be a sight for sight.
Yeah, nice.
I think mine, I'd probably just be a little bit humble and pick my favourite drummer, Eddie Thrower. Like, the guy's a genius, and to feel that talent just for an hour would be amazing.
Great stuff. Some brilliant choices in there. Love listening to them. So, if you could go on any TV show as a contestant, what show would you go on?
I was about to shout out Love Island then, but I mean, to be fair, I'm not much of a TV watcher. I couldn't imagine our band really being on the X Factor or Britain's Got Talent. Maybe get James on The Voice or something like that. I think that's about as far as I'd go.
I'm a celeb, and that means we've made it.
Yeah. Get me out of here.
Brilliant, great stuff. So, can you tell us something about either yourself or maybe each other member in the band that you think people would be surprised to hear about?
Well, me and Asher are successful engineers. I guess you would look at us and think. No, to be fair, we're just a bunch of average lads. Do you know? We don't think we're this and that. We know we've got a good thing going at the moment. We've got a good bond between the band, but we're pretty humble in a sense. Do you know?
Yeah. Just all about the music for us. We just love playing tunes.
Yeah, sure, okay. So this is probably the most random question out of today's podcast. So would you rather have bird beaks for eyes or tongues for fingers?
Tongues for fingers.
Yeah, you gotta go with
Got to get the temptations in, haven't you? Never on the fingers and that. I've been tasting my guitar licks. Yeah.
Brilliant, loving that our response. And kind of like as well then, like looking obviously we've sort of touched on a little bit with like the studio stuff, obviously like how quickly you record and all that, but kind of like the live music side of things, has there been like a particular gig so far that you think, yeah, you've come off stage and you think, yeah, do you know what, we've absolutely nailed that one tonight?
I think we have to go with This Feeling was the first one we've done with this lineup really, and like it kind of, well, we always a bit kind of critical ourselves, we always a bit tighter, but I think for a first gig with the full lineup, and like Daryl had been really in the practice with us kind of 4 sessions like on that full kind of set list.
Right.
It's essential with that. We was like we've got something big coming along once we get it even tighter.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd go with the same. There's quite a lot of pressure on all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Particularly because of, again, we changed the full set list. We had a new band member to try and get tight. And I think generally we all had quite a bit of on personal lives at the time as well. So to be able to do that gig, it was quite it showed kind of how strong the band is now, I think.
Yeah, sure. And do you have any like sort of like pre-gig rituals at all? To like get you in the zone?
On my own, just like when there's no one there, I'll stand in front and just visualize myself like beforehand, and that's about it really for me.
Yeah, usually you'll be looking, you're like, who's that weirdo at the front there looking at the stage? And that's Jamie. My pre-gig ritual is usually a couple of beers.
Calm the old nerves a little bit.
Yeah, we had a bit of nerves for the last gig, didn't we?
Yeah,
It's weird as well because we've played for that long. We felt so confident, and then obviously we've had a bit of a break, got the new lineup, playing the new songs. Everything felt like so easy back in the day, and then to get on stage and like feel that pressure again. I don't know, it was a different feeling, you know. But obviously, nothing good comes easy, does it? So.
No, that is very, very true. And yeah, I mean, obviously I can hear the passion there that's coming across from all of you really in terms of like the live sort of music type of thing. So kind of like you've sort of touched on it a little bit earlier on with it sounds like, you know, obviously Nine Lives obviously is going to be the lead single from the EP that you've got coming out later on in the year. But kind of like what other plans have you got for this year? Are there, you know, you're looking at maybe trying to get on like some of the festival slots. Have you got any other live gigs planned? What's the sort of the aim and ambition for this year?
To be fair, I think for us mainly at the moment, we're looking to get a lot more recordings out there. Really, we did a lot of the live things like over the last couple of years and stuff, and we kind of know we're a tight band live most of the time. But people would always say, when are you going to get that song out? When are you going to get that song out? We got that many that we think are really, really good tunes that people just want to hear. We're kind of taking a bit of a step back from the live scene and focusing more on the recording side of things at the moment.
I will say with that as well, what we found is, I mean, like you go and play a gig, you have a good gig, even plenty of people there, and you don't get the following. So like a lot of people don't follow from a gig, whereas you do all your social media, that's where your fans are coming from. We release a song, we see such an increase in our numbers, whereas like we go and play a gig with a room full of people, we play a good gig, everyone loves it, but everyone ain't going on the phone after, everyone's having a drink, having a good time, and we get it. But this is why we're thinking now, sort of hit the social media, and then what we'll do is we'll play a gig occasionally, and hopefully that'll bring the numbers in. So that's the plan going forward. Yeah. We've got some coming. We've got some ideas coming up. Like there might be a social gig in the making. We're not going to say yes or no because it's not been confirmed yet. Got one in Beverley coming up. We are after getting on Humber Street if possible. We haven't heard out yet though, so that's a wait and see job.
Yeah, sure. Well, it certainly sounds really exciting, and obviously, you know, fingers crossed that those plans, you know, obviously do come to fruition. You know, certainly on the live sort of stuff as well. And just kind of like one final question, then, really from me. If there was one band that was, you know, past or present that you could maybe go and support, who would you choose?
The place at home as well. Like,
I'm sorry, man.
Get it sorted out. Get back here. See the one
you're getting the same answers every time. You know what I mean?
Well, as I'm sure as you've seen in the background there, as a massive Oasis fan myself, I can't say I blame you, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, obviously, if we could support Liam or Noel or anything related with them, that'd be great. But to be fair, I'm taking every opportunity we can. You know, anyone wants to get us on, we're here, we're ready to go.
Get us on a festival.
Yeah.
There you go. Great stuff. You heard it here first. Backyard Casino are waiting for someone just to pick up the phone and they'll be there in a heartbeat. As I say, James, Gareth, Ash and Daryl, thanks very much for coming on the This Is The Music Meets Backyard Casino podcast. I've really enjoyed it. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And it sounds like you've got some great plans lined up for 2023 and beyond. And as a fan of the band, I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what those plans, you know, in terms of the music releases you've got coming up. You know, really, really looking forward to that. But just before you do go, can you just let the listeners know exactly what social media platforms they can find you on?
James.
It's all the usuals. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We even got ourselves a TikTok now as well. Find us on YouTube. All the usuals.
Get on our link tree on our social media. You literally click on that. It's got a full list of everything, upcoming gigs, the full lot. Yeah, so link tree on the Instagram bio, Facebook bio.
We've got a website as well.
Yeah,
website as well. So check it out.
Excellent, great stuff, and we'll put that link tree in the episode bio for everyone to do exactly that. And as obviously as I said, Backyard Casino's new single 9 Lives is out now across all streaming and download platforms. And again, we will include that in the episode bio. Lads, thanks very much for coming on, and I really do wish you the best of luck. It sounds like, as I say, you've got some big things and a lot of ambition. And I think probably just probably even more importantly, actually, you've clearly got the passion, for music, and that for me personally is probably the most important thing out of the lot. So as I say, thanks very much for coming on, and hopefully we'll catch up with you one day very soon.
Yeah, thanks for all the support, man. Thanks for having us on. All the best.
Cheers. Thanks very much. And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone who has listened to the latest This Is The Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you are loving the podcast, show us some love by giving us a 5-star rating and written review, as it really does help the artist we interview to be discovered. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again very soon.